Hello everybody, this is Gregory with 5-Minute Catholic Apologetics, where 5 minutes of your time may get you to the divine. Today we're going to talk about some very sad stats about how Catholics, self-identifying Catholics, feel about the faith and its teachings. Now before we begin, let's start with a prayer. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti, Amen. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritui Sancto, secutor in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti, Amen. So this is the first episode I'm recording after I was interviewed on the Catholic Current, which is a pretty popular Catholic podcast hosted by Father Robert McTagan. So I want to thank him for having me on and being able to talk about apologetics. I'll try to put a link here in the episode notes so you can listen to it if you like. If not, just Google on podcast, the Catholic Current. Now, today we're going to talk about some daunting stats. I've mentioned these stats on a couple episodes. One was on the real presence of the Eucharist. Why do we believe in that? And another one was on 3 Catholic teachings that a lot of Catholics don't even believe in. But this was a Pew Research study that was done in 2015, and I'm just going to talk about some of the beliefs here in America and a couple in Europe, and then compare it, juxtapose it to what traditional Latin Mass people believe. And of course, you already know what the difference is going to be, but all right, let's go. Okay, so I'll try to put this on the wall here. These are just some major ones. 76% of U.S. Catholics are pro-birth control. 62% of priests should be allowed to marry. Now remember, married priest is a discipline, or I should say celibate priest is a discipline. We have an episode here on 1 Corinthians 7, and we talk about kind of its approach to the single life, the married life, and that is the scriptural kind of proof, if you need one, for why we believe in the discipline of having celibate priest. And of course, there are some Catholics, like in the ordinary of the Church St. Peter, where you're allowed to be married because the papacy made an exception for them because they were Anglican priests coming back to Holy Mother Church. 62% believe that communion for divorced and remarried people. Now, we have episodes here on Christian remarriage, the 2-part episode onto why the Catholic Church does not allow Christian remarriage. In other words, we don't want to contradict the words of Christ, as mentioned in Matthew 19, for example. But 62% of Catholics kind of believe what Francis echoed in Amor Laetitia about remarried, civilly remarried, and essentially living in adultery and fornicating, but that these Catholics should be able to receive the Eucharist. 59% are pro-women priests. We have an episode here why that's never supposed to happen. If it ever happens, that is a clear sign of apostasy. And then 46% think church should recognize homosexual marriage, which there is no such thing as homosexual marriage. But 46%, so about 50%. In France, 12% of Catholics believe in hell. Only 12. 7% believe that Catholicism is the only true religion. I guess we should be happy the indifferentism hasn't completely overtaken France, where there's still 7%. 34% of regularly practicing Catholics in France believe that Muhammad wasn't a prophet. Was a prophet. My apologies. Was a prophet. Over in Germany, 43% believe in the resurrection. Only 43% believe that Jesus actually resurrected. 19% attend Mass. 55% believe in the virgin birth. I'm actually surprised that's not lower. And 44% believe and accept papal infallibility. Now, let's compare this to the TLM, and because this is not a perfect kind of, this is what they believe about contraception, this is what they don't, but this gives you an idea. So 2% of traditional Latin Mass attending Catholics approve of contraception, only 2%. 1% approve abortion. 99% of traditional Latin Mass Catholics said they attend Mass weekly, versus 22% of those who don't. And then 2% of traditional Latin Mass goers approved of gay marriage, 2%. Well, I mean, how can we deny that the church has not been in Christ since its Vatican Council II? I'm sorry. I mean, we can throw in even more horrible stats. Approximately 80,000 vocations left the church. So this is going to be priests, this is going to be nuns, monks, brothers, between 1965 and 2002. And we've had a 90% drop in the amount of seminarians from 1965 to 2002, 90% drop of seminarians. So pre-Vatican II compared to post-Vatican II. I remember reading Taylor Marshall's Infiltration years ago, and I just remember he had that section. There's not enough time to talk about what I think of his book, but there's a section where he kind of shows all the stats. And it's the same thing. The church is in crisis. We can't deny that. If you have self-nominating or self-identifying Catholics believing in open misteachings, open even heresies, is frightening. And why? Why is this? Well, we've talked about how in 1 John and in James, both of those evangelists talk about those who love the world hate God. And we have too many Catholics, and certainly too many Christians, who are more of this world than in this world. We have too many Catholics that have been corrupted and co-opted by the modernist, postmodernist, secularist world that we live in. No doubt. This is a major problem. You have more Catholics believing in the values, if you want to call it values, of secularism than the values of their own church. We have an episode here on those, and originally it was titled, Those Who Left Their Faith Piss on Their Ancestors, pardon the French. But it's true, we had hundreds of years of our ancestors died in the religious wars, died against defending Vienna from the siege of the Ottoman Turks in the 17th century and in the 16th century. You know, we have all this sacrifice to only what? For us to essentially piss it away because we think we know better? It's sad. And it's not surprising on one level that so many self-identifying Catholics believe these things. And I don't really know what is the solution. I think it's going to be like what we all suspect and what Pope Benedict echoed about 15 years ago, how there's going to be a willowing away of the faithful and there's going to be a small remnant. We know, we talked about in that episode, how the Catholic Church is the longest continuous existing institution of human history, that the church is never going to be destroyed. Christ is not a liar, but we're certainly going to get smaller. And I mean, how many tea leaves do there need to be to think that the traditional parishes where there is growth and flourishing and the seminaries are bustling, whether it be, SSPX or FSSP or the Ordinariate or any of the Ecclesia Dei communities that I'm not mentioning, that's probably going to be the true remnant. And all the regular suburban, a lot of those congregants, they definitely skew old, by the way, too. And certainly the liberal Catholics, and we have an episode here, there's no such thing as liberal Catholics, but they're going to go the way of this, and they're going to want to change the church into the Episcopalian Church, or what you see in the Methodist Church. Both of these churches, and all the mainstream ones, are having female priests, open homosexual bishops, and so forth. And this is what they want. And it's just unfortunate. I can't tell you that, is there a solution? I can't tell you. We've had woeful catechesis for 60 years. Now, was this an intentional fruit of Vatican II? Was it like, let's dumb down all the Catholics and have just horrible catechesis? Or was this an unintended consequence? I don't know. I wasn't there. But all we know is that the fruits don't bear out well. And we've had 3 generations of poorly catechized Catholics. And so how can, on one level, can we get mad at Catholics today who don't teach their kids anything about the faith if they themselves didn't learn it from their own parents? And of course, we are all literate and we could all learn it, and we should learn it. We have that episode, how it falls on our shoulders to defend the faith and evangelize. But I don't know. We could the Benedict option, as I mentioned in a previous episode, and just all the trash, just kind of hole up, teach their kids good survival skills, but also teach the kids apologetics and how to defend the faith and so forth, and just say a prayer for those who are too much of this world, because I don't know if the statistic's going to change. I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe in 30, 40 years when we have, pray, Leo the 14th or Pius the 13th popes, that you'll see these stats switch back and we'll have more orthodox view. But I don't know, maybe I'm a cynic and I just don't see it. I see these numbers of identifying Catholics who believe in these beliefs that are antithetical to church teaching and the deposit of the faith. I don't know if this number is going to change. And let's be real, I mean, I guess next to Pope Francis, the second most influential Catholic in America is Joseph Biden. And Biden obviously is pro-choice and would probably be supportive of some of the statistics that we showed here too. So I don't know. I don't have a solution. I think it'd be great if parishes had some sort of catechesis academy or apologetics academy that would help people that are interested in the parish to be able to learn these things and then go out and do some sort of Legion of Mary door-to-door or YouTube apologetics. I don't know, but it's just disheartening, and I wanted to do an episode on it. So guys, please post in the comments and let me know what your take is on these daunting statistics, or you can talk about the positive statistics that I mentioned in the TLM community. Until next time, take care, God bless. Please hit the notification, subscribe, and share button.